What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of For Dummies. And tonight I am joined with the other three dummies. I have Mr. Robert Detoff.
Hello.
I have Just One.
Yo, what's happening?
And I have Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
And tonight we are going to be talking about the companies that we hate and why we hate them and whether or not that hate is fair. And this is just, we're operating in a safe space. So we're just having an honest conversation about the way that we feel. Don't get your little triggered panties in a bunch. We're talking amongst ourselves and you are privy to it.
But first, let me just say Takara.
Yeah. I'm never going to say that because they already think I think that. I'm just...
You hate Takara.
No, I'm disappointed in Takara. I don't hate Takara.
I hate Takara.
I'm disappointed in them.
Why do you hate Takara? And when did you hate
feel
Takara?
like they were the chosen one.
It's true.
Yeah, and I feel like they don't do it right. And maybe, whatever, for whatever reason, maybe it's a big company, whatever you want to say about it. I don't know. If your argument is that they're a big company and they have a lot of, more red tape that they have to cut through, then you're already doing it wrong.
Can I ask you a JISC question? A little
Yeah,
quick
please do.
How do you know that they don't put out front-running product?
Well, I don't. I can only go based on the information that I have, right?
Biased Bobby?
And the information that I have is that Takara puts out a product that I think is inferior when it's their product. With other people making your better than you do.
I think that's fair.
Of course you do.
So, Robert, do you think that Takara is still making the superior product?
No.
You know what's funny is I heard you double down, you triple down, you were talking big about this Starscream, and then the Starscream came, and I didn't hear a peep out of a guy named Robert D.
I think the reason why I like him on my shelf and I find him stable is I always pose my figures with the crotch thrust. I always do that. And I do. They
That's
always
funny
crotch thrust with the legs back. They look better even in an A stance like that. It gives them life. So mine is stable, but I believe only for that reason. I personally think on my shelf, this Starscream is exploding in personality. I love it. I love this Starscream so much. I don't mind there being no waist swivel. I love it so much.
So I'll tell you, I kept my Starscream on a shelf in the Nerd Rage room, in the pod room, for a month, and it didn't do a thing for me. I've since moved him into the review room, and now he's just a size comparison piece.
My right shoulder has a springy, clicky ratchet, and the left shoulder just has what feels like a soft ratchet.
So why is that okay?
It's not okay at
But
all.
it is, but so many forgive it, yourself included. Like, why does that get the pass at the price point that it asks?
Because
Exactly. Because
compared to other companies, compared to other companies that are worse.
Which ones are worse than that?
I guess
it's because it's official. That's why. It's because it's an official
I agree
product.
with you, Jisk. It's because it's official.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask myself
He's asking.
Well, ask yourself that question. But while you're asking yourself, I'm going to say that it is the epitome of the reason why I back third party in the first place is first party complacency that I used to only see with Hasbro, but now I see in Takara.
I think you're right. It's the fact that it's official adds weight to it, in my opinion, for me.
Why is a Transformer being an official hold value to you now?
Especially when you, of all people, have a collection of third party pieces, like an impressive collection of third party pieces.
Well, I do like the aesthetic. So that's why it's like I like it, but I also give weight to the fact that it's official. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if I had to pick this, I like the scaling based on the Sunbow chart. I never realized he was as short as he is, but it scales.
I mean, that's fair. If you like the way that it fits in with the collection, size-wise, that's fair. Which companies do you hate, Robert?
I hate Flame Toys now. I mean, it's obvious. I'm done with them.
Dude,
so pissed.
I understand after the Star Saber ordeal, but have you received the Fallen yet?
Yes.
It's really well done.
It's like Tarn wearing a football outfit. So it's like he's built.
But it's not.
He's built to have Tarn's articulation, and he can't because his shoulders are too bulky.
No,
he can't actually move.
He still has it. They still engineered it in. Yeah. Like that's the like.
So your wrist wasn't popping off. Your fingers didn't pop off.
Nope.
And mine did.
And
see how like the individual experience.
Sure. For sure. But I'll be honest with you. I was ready to hate this because of how much I was offended by the Star Saber offending you.
Oh, wow.
I was ready to go to the mattress with this thing. And then I got it and I was like, man, this is great. This is where they should be operating. And even though it is an obvious retool, it still has enough unique identity to stand alone.
Yeah, but you know what? I was okay when I bought it, saying, retool of Tarn, whatever. I didn't even notice until people told me. And then it slowly chewed away at me. For $400, give me something new. Don't reuse molds and charge me the same money.
But they didn't reuse the mold. They completely retooled the upper body. The lower body, I agree with you on.
The arms are the same past the shoulders.
Okay. But the torso, shoulders, head is all new, and the accessories are new. And I think it's enough. I really do. I think it's enough. I wouldn't just say that to say that. Like I was surprised at how much I enjoyed that piece.
How much of this is you liking Tarn?
So I do like Tarn, but I don't give a shit about the Fallen, and I'm not going to buy this because I still don't give a shit about the Fallen. But I recognize that if you did love the Fallen, this is the ultimate Fallen to own.
Well, that's good to know. At least I got them on my shelf. But I'm not buying any more of their.
Yeah,
I don't trust
them
anymore.
You said you weren't going to buy the Fallen.
I bought it a year ago. I paid the pre-order with D4 Toys to get the exclusive bits.
Yeah, Robert's stuck in a holding pattern with all of his pre-orders. Let me ask you, Robert, are you more disappointed because they're official, right? Aren't they licensed flame sources?
Yeah.
Does it bum you out more so that it's an official product?
You know what's interesting? Yeah, I would say yeah. I mean, look, when you're paying $400 a pop, it doesn't take many disappointments to ruin it for you.
I don't, man, dude. Look,
I'm never going back to
Takara masterpieces. Starscream's like 3-something.
I agree. Just you're talking that logic.
I feel like
you $250, and for $250 I'm more forgiving.
$250 on Amazon.
That's what I paid. That's all I know. But Starscream was cheaper than the Fallen. For me, it was $150 cheaper. I guess for most, it was less than $100 cheaper, but it was still cheaper nonetheless.
It was one Black Series figure cheaper. Yep.
Laura, which companies do you hate the most?
Yeah, I don't.
I was going to save it for last, but go ahead.
I don't think I.
Well, then don't put me in charge.
That's fair.
I think I probably do have a tendency towards fans toys. Because I'd like a heavy toy to its fault, obviously, maybe to some extent.
Outside of Transformers, if I get something for other franchises that you're perhaps more interested in, are there certain companies where you're like more excited or less excited that I got or received something from?
Ironically, it's not necessarily something that I'm like, I know the company. I think it's like, okay, this is aesthetically pleasing to me or it's not.
Let me ask you this question, Laura. Based on stuff coming in and out all the time and hearing Bobby just talk about it, what would you think he's going to say is his company that he hates the most?
We're going to get a divorce tonight.
Why? It doesn't matter if you're. There's no weight to this question. If you're wrong, you're just
thanks,
wrong.
Jisk. We weren't going to argue tonight.
I
don't know. I really don't know.
If you were to take a guess,
Hasbro, Takara, same.
Must-toys. So when you scan the collection, do you ever happen to look at a figure, any of them, and go, oh God, how much money was that?
No.
Do you ever feel that?
So no, I can't say I look at something and think, how much was that? I think that the things that I don't like, to be honest with you, I don't really notice. They don't stand out to me.
All right, Bobby.
Hate is a strong word. I think there are 3 companies that spring to mind that I do not care for.
Magic Square. I knew it.
So there's 3 of us.
I guess one. So your turn.
All right, I'm going to go Bad Cube.
It's Takara. Takara's one of them.
Takara is not one. The 3 companies that I think I hate is Magic Square. The materials and the tolerances and the intricate transformation that relies on those poor tolerances and materials pisses me off. The second one is Kang Toys.
I knew it!
Dude, you're so kangry right now.
I am kangry, dude. I am the kangry giant. I hate what they did with that Predaking. I hate how long it took for them to show what it was going to look like. I hate so much about their business plan. It is the exact opposite of what I want a third-party company to act like. A third party, in my opinion, is supposed to be power to the people in a way, and this was power to the pockets. And my third is kind of cop-out. It's TFC.
Oh.
Dude, I love that because you're like, I feel like TFC is the company you've in for the most money.
Oh,
you're right.
I mean, I know it's
you're
not,
right.
But,
no, but you're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. And I've gone in on so many, and there has been
you're like, every time they get me, every time.
just this constant element of zero growth, zero progress, just the same old status quo that we're just supposed to eat up time after time, and they don't care because making third-party toys is not their bread and butter. So they don't give a shit. As long as we eat it, they're fine. And those are the three companies that I think I hate. I don't hate Takara. Contrary to popular belief, I don't hate Takara. I'm disappointed. Like my father's not mad; he's disappointed. It's worse. Like that's how I feel about Takara. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed.
It was always worse. My dad was mad. I could care less if he was disappointed.
So
Just kidding.
So if Kang Toys had shown the combined form sooner,
Kang Toys had shown it from the giddy up and been like, "Look, this is what it looks like," and I'd be like, "Cool, pass." I wouldn't feel any way about them.
Now, has Magic Square? How many Masterpiece figures have they made?
One. He owns it.
Okay. Yeah, they're Masterpiece Prime, right?
I like that Prime. Yeah,
He loves
I do
it.
too. I do
he
too.
loves it. And maybe if they did more Masterpiece figures, I'd feel differently.
Okay, so you recently reviewed, and the video hasn't come out yet, the Magic Square Ultra Magnus stupid upgrade.
It's awful
for the white.
It's awful.
You know, and
when I opened up that box and half of the trailer fell apart in my hands, and then I went to put it back together, and as I put it back together, the other half fell apart. I was like, "Oh, this is bad." And then when I went through the actual process and the actual robot isn't functional, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is just a bad thing. It's just inherently bad."
Has this been a slow build?
I think that like I gave them a pass. Like I know battle lines get drawn between New Age and Magic Square, but that's not really where my heart is because I review a lot of this Legend, but I don't really care all that much about it with the kind of progress that New Age has made. And then when you get stuff like Iron Factory that when they do it right, they do it all the way right. And then even stuff like Zeta, and even to be fair, Kang Toys with their Legends class figures, it's like, oh, okay, it doesn't have to feel like a piece of in order to be successful. And then when I compare that against the Magic Square, I'm like, well, then why do you feel like a piece of
Okay, but this year Megatron came out. It's arguably up there as the best transforming Megatron made to date.
If we're talking aesthetics, that's one thing. But if we're talking like build and consistency, that's another thing. Like I might go ahead and put this on record. That Magic Square Megatron does not have the build to compete with any other third-party Megatron ever made.
You're harsh.
To be fair, that's another thing is rarely does the Magic Square stuff look bad. It often looks fantastic. That's not their problem. If I'm going to look at the company overall, I'm like the thing that they nail, aesthetics and character, like they know how to make it come through. But the actual functionality of a transforming action figure is awful.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that the designer and the company producing it work together? Or do you think like the designer behind Magic Square is like amazing and then he gives them the designs and they just kind of to bed when it comes to producing it?
I think they work together. And I think
so too.
And I think that the designer takes leniency and shortcuts because he can rely on the bullshit materials. And the moment that he can't rely on the bullshit materials, we get frustrating transformations a la Stunnicons.
And Constructicons. Those are frustrating.
They're frustrating also, but for different reasons.
The new soundboard.
I want to see some pepperonis.
Real fast, I need to see Robert's mustache.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I'm naked.